the last example is curves. All right, the last example is curves. How about orange? Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, so this one is facing a different direction, kinda. Well, no, I guess it's the same. But notice the front is a curved corner, not a straight corner like in the back. So I think this time I'm going to start with the back point first because it's actually a point on the picture, right? So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put my point randomly in the space and easy, straight up 1. Let's do the easy stuff first, right? Okay. Now use your paper, the little background to count. Okay, so I go 1, 2, 3. And then see this, I think I can highlight. See this little cross here? That is the center of that hole. I can use that to find where my curve starts. So my curve actually starts where that hole mark is. So if I drew a straight line down from there, right, and then do a straight line down from there, that's where my curve goes. Notice that's 1, 2, 3.5, right? That's 3.5. So I'm going to come from the top and bottom of this back line, and I'm going to come towards the front 3.5. 1, 2, 3.5. 1, 2, 3.5. And if I put a ruler on that, those should be lined up vertically. Okay, if I put the ruler on that. It looks pretty good, right? So I think I did an okay job. Then, let's see. What would be the easiest thing? The easiest thing might be to find our way to this vertical line over here in the front. So if I just look on the top face, I go over 1.5, up half, up 1. So I go 1.5 past where I am. I could even do it here. I can go 1.5 to here and 1.5 to there. So I'm just going to count it. So there's my half, and there's my 1, and there's my 1, and there's my half, right? So I have, just turn my screen again. I have 1.5, 1.5. So I'm going to put a dot right there and right there. And I'm going to make this just a little curve. To connect them, not too much. Then I know this thing is only 1 square tall, so I'm going to go up right above there and put another dot, and then I'm going to oops, turned it too much. I'm going to try to give myself a curve that is parallel to the lower one. All right, so they look pretty good. They got to be consistent and stay the same distance apart as our straight lines in orange. Okay. Whew, that was challenging, but we made it. Okay, so now let me count from the orange. Let me make this vertical line red. Count from the red vertical line to this red vertical line, right? So I picked up the other center mark. So I'm going to count there. I know that's a half. 1, 2, 3, 4, and another half. So I go a half, 4 holes, and a half. So there's my half. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 holes, and another half. And I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom because they travel together. All right. Now, notice over here, because we're going over here, I'm over here in the back, because we're going around and we don't see the back side, we kind of lose the bottom, right? And it looks like it joins up with the top. So that's how it looks from our perspective. So what I'm going to do is use the top, and I'm going to go from this hash mark that I drew in red to the other hash mark in the back. And I know it goes half whole, right? Because if I count here, it goes from the center half whole, and then it's half whole. So I have to go back from here a whole and a half, and then I have to go out a half and a whole. So I'm looking to connect this dot to this dot right here. Okay, so, and it's got a little bit more of a curve on it. All right, so sorry, it's not super great, but it's pretty good. And then this bottom one, make sure it curves, but it curves out and then up and connects. So it curves out and then up, and it should be vertical at that part. All right, it should be a vertical, more of a vertical line after the curve. Right, so they connect there. Now we're going to go from this connection point, and we're going to go half whole. Right, so we finish this block half whole, and we're just going to draw a line to there. And you can clean it up a little bit as you go. Okay. Whew. So that's actually pretty good. You guys hopefully are doing a good job on that. Now, from our point where we ended in green, there's a straight line all the way back to what we've drawn in orange. So I'm just going to follow the line, and I'm going to connect the green to the orange by following this line on the paper. And there we go. Okay, so that takes care of this part right here. Now, we have 2 circles, right? These are holes that are cut out. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark them. Notice the diameter is only 1, right? It only takes up 1 little space on the paper. So I just have to figure out where it is. The center is 1.5 from either edge. So we go, it's where our dots are, right? So 1.5, that should be it, and 1.5. So that's the center of the circle. So my circle, boy, this is really hard. The circle is just going to be in this little space. This is such a good circle. And I kind of already had my center marked over there. Those are terrible. Do those again. That one's better. That one's better. All right, so those are my circles. Phew. Okay, now let's see. Over on the right, we have this and this, right? Those two plus signs. They're centers for this curve that you see here. So this is the center of this arc, and this thing is the center of this arc. And that part will make more sense when we get into CAD and you actually see the centers of the arcs. But it's kind of like part of a circle, right? So this plus would match the center of a circle. So if it's the center to the edge of a circle is called the radius, right? So if I count from the center, this plus sign, down to the edge, I get 1, 2, right? So this means the radius equals 2. And if I look, it's the same going that way, right? So I can use that to help myself. And it's the same from this green line and the back of our orange line. They're identical, right? Those are parallel to each other. So I can kind of draw. So I got up 2 and then over 2. Up 2 over 2. So my curve has to connect the green, where the green and orange intersect, to that second yellow dot over there. And it should be a curve, right? Again, you don't have to be super artistic. And then the one behind it is 1, 2 behind there. So I can go from here, 1, 2. And then that one's going to connect to the orange. And so I have 2 parallel curves there. And I'm going to erase my little dot so I don't screw myself up. Okay, so that's nice. Now, from here, I'm going to count up because now it's straight, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I go straight up 5. All right, there's my 5. And then I'm going to do the same thing in the back, right? Because it's parallel still. So I'm going to just kind of dot, 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 dot to here. There we go. Very nice. Now, let's see, we got tons of curvy faces here. Tons of curvy faces. So let's see. Let's count from here up to the matching point in the front. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So this funny round piece comes out 4. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put a dot there. And that's the outer edge of my biggest circle, right? So I got to figure out the diameter of the circle. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So the diameter of the big circle is 4. So I'm just going to help myself out and do a whole bunch of dots, right? So this is my outer one. I went back along the same line. 1, 2, that's the center. 3, 4. And then from the center, I would have to go up 2. And I would have to go down 2, right? Because the diameter is 4. So then I can use those dots to make my circle. Now, it won't be exactly circular because you're not looking right at it. So it's going to be a little more like an oval, but you still want it to be round as best you can. And you want it to be the right size. There, and you can erase what you need to erase. Okay? Like I said, this does not have to be perfect because we are not artists. Maybe some of us, but not all of us. Okay, so now, how about we do the inner circle. So the inner circle has a diameter of 2, right? 1, 2. So it goes from here, up 1, over 1, down 1, I think that's right. And then we're going to try to make that look like a circle. It's not terrible, but it's not great. But that's okay. I'm comfortable with it. Now it comes back and meets this back piece, right? So over here, let me erase some of these marks. Over here, we went up 5 to this point, but notice it comes back and it connects 1 less, right? That's at the 4. So this actually comes oh, but it only goes 2. Eraser. Comes out 1, 2. So I went a little too far on that. Now, it's supposed to match the circle. So are my circles correct? No. So I did some bad counting. And I could see all of your eyes rolling because now I'm going to erase. And you're probably upset because you were doing exactly what I did. And now you have to erase too. And you know, we are not perfect. And sometimes you just have to do it over. That's why pencil is amazing. Okay, so I'm going to put my dot right there for my circle because I have 1, 2, 1, 2. Then I'm going to count my 4. This is for the little circle. That's the center. Little circle outside. And then if I go straight up and down, I should get big circle, big circle. I'm not going to draw it in though because I don't want to mess it up. And I want to look at the back. So I'm going to go leave that alone for a minute. I'm going to come over here. I have this and down drawn in, right? In the orange. I'm going to count up and over. So I'm going to go 1, 2 up and 1, 2 to the left. So 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm going to put a dot right there. That's curved. That's for this curve right here. So I'm going to go ahead and curve that in. That actually turned out pretty nice. Then I have another curve, right? If I go in 1 over 1, I kind of end up over here on a straight edge. So for here. So I need to make the next part of that connect from the purple dot to the pink dot. So I'm going to come around like this. Oops. Okay. And then I'm going to come out 1, 2, 3. I'm going to start with that and see what happens. Okay. And then the outer circle should get really close to that line, right? So if I go from the top dot, whoa, dropped my pen. Went a little crazy right there. Okay, then I'm going to come around to this one. And then I'm going to loop around to the next one. And it has to touch this purple line. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it just because my skill set doesn't seem to want me to. And then all right. I'll just draw these a little longer so they hit it. Okay, so that's the outer circle. And then the inner circle comes around like that. Whew, that was tough. And we're not done yet because I'm missing a whole bunch back here. Right? So here I am over here. I have another curve because I see the little plus sign. I have a nice straight edge in the back. So I'm going to draw that straight edge because can't go wrong. And it goes back to, let me grab my green pen. So that goes like that. And then the curve looks like it comes out of this spot right here. And it comes down one for sure, right? So I'm going to do it straight down one. And then it curves down and around to hit that bottom part. So, there. I feel like we should all get a prize for doing that. Now you saw how difficult it was, right? Yes, it takes a lot of practice, and I am out of practice. So no one's going to be perfect right from the beginning. You just want to work on it. Don't give up. Okay, don't give up. You saw my circles. They did not come out right. I don't think they were even in the right place. So I just erased them and went at it a different direction. Do that, right? Do that. Go at it from a different direction and see if you can get it if it doesn't work the first time. But it's very colorful. It's very lovely. We did a good job. And you should be proud of yourself if you have anything that remotely resembles this little object, because this guy's hard. All right. If you are working on the assignment's in Google Classroom, dated either November 30 or December 1st, depending on if you're A day or B day. There are 6 of these little isometric things, 3 from the 12 isometrics and 3 from the 20 more iso shapes. The links to the documents are in the assignment. And this is basically what you're going to be doing. Now, you can do more than one on a page, right? Otherwise, it's very wasteful. So you can do, you could probably fit 2 on the same piece of paper, maybe 3. And if you struggle, put it away. If you start to get frustrated, put your pencil down and walk away. Okay, you will get so discouraged if you get frustrated, and I don't want you to do that. So put your pencil down and don't look at it anymore. Okay, come back the next day, right? Or a couple days later. You have plenty of time to work on the assignment. You can come to Flex Time on Monday, the 30th. You can come to Flex Time on, if you're a B day, you can come on Tuesday and Monday. We can talk about this more in class on the 30th and the 1st. If you want more practice together, we can do more practice together. So if you get frustrated, just stop working. It is not brain surgery. You're not keeping someone alive, okay? You just are learning to sketch, and it's okay. It's going to be frustrating. So take your time and put it away if you have to. Come for extra help. Make sure when I say, does anyone need to spend more time on isometric sketching? You say, yes, I do. Please, can we do more practice? And then ask me for a specific one. All right, so that's how I want to do this with you guys, is that you're going to dictate the speed at which we go through these sketching practices. So make sure that you speak up and advocate for yourself. That is the basics for isometric sketching, and it just takes practice. All right, it's just going to take practice, practice, practice. So good luck, and let me know if you need any help.